Good day, everyone. The topic for today is the three branches of forensic ballistic. First one, interior or internal ballistic. Interior ballistic deals with the bullet motions and behavior inside the firearm, from the firing pin striking the primer to the bullet exiting the muzzle. And this is the process of how the bullet works. When you pull a trigger of a gun, it releases firing pin, which strike the primer at the base of the cartridge. Inside the cartridge, it is a chemical explosive substance known as smokeless powder. The impact of the firing pin initiates the powder inside the cartridge, creating the pressure gas that rapidly expands. This energy push forward and force of the bullet out of the cartridge. And the next one is external exterior ballistic. How? The study of projectile motion and behavior after it exits the barrel until it reaches the target. Includes various factors that determine its flight and impact. The first one of the external ballistic is the bullet flies through the air in a curved path because gravity pulls down. Second, air slow the bullet down and can change how far it goes. Third, wind can push the bullet sideways, making it miss the target. And lastly, the bullet spin to stay steady and go straight. And lastly, the branches of ballistic is transition ballistic, also known as intermediate ballistic. It focuses on the behavior of projectile from the moment it leaves the muzzle until the pressure behind it equalizes with atmospheric pressure. This phase is influenced by expanding gases in the barrel, the bullet muzzle velocity, and environmental force. The different types of firearms. This is the cycle of semi-automatic operation. Watches the cartridge is taking into the magazine and pointing to the chamber. To the locks and to the place the firing pin strike to the primer, spending gas pressure push to the projectile out of the barrel. And expect the cartridge out of the chamber, and the action is unlock the barrel and the structure and push pin chasing up the chamber and injecting to the pistol and forward into the slide. The hammer is cocked and the new chamber is pepped, the magazine in the start over and again. And the next one is revolver. Revolver is a type of handgun that has a rotating cylinder containing multiple chambers, each capable of holding one cartridge. As the cylinder rotates, is aligned each chamber with a barrel, allowing a multiple shot to be fired without reloading after every shot. Loading cartridges are manually inserted into the chamber of the cylinder. Closing the cylinder into the frame, swing out, break top, or fix depending to the model. Cocking the hammer. In a double action revolver, this happens automatically when the trigger is pulled. Trigger pull. Pulling the trigger either cocks and release the hammer. Cylinder rotation as a trigger is pulled up, the hammer is cocked. The cylinder rotates to align the next chamber with the barrel. Firing. The hammer is struck to the firing pin or the primer initiate the cartridge, and the firing the bullet through the barrel. The revolver is set after the shot and it's ready to the next trigger pull. Injecting cartridge. After all the shots are fired, the empty casing and injected manually using an injector rod. Reloading. New cartridge are reloaded into the cylinder to repeat the process.
Next, submachine gun is a lightweight automatic firearm designed to fire pistol caliber ammunition. It is typically compact and can be operated with one or both hands, making it ideal close quarter combat. Next, machine gun is a fully automatic firearm that capable of sustained fire using rifle caliber ammunition or larger. It's designed for use combat to provide subversive fire and often mounted or supported with tripods and D-pads. Semi-automatic
คุณไม่จำเป็น
shotgun
ต้อง
is
เก่งก
used
ว่าคนอื่น
hunting, sport
ในการ
shooting,
ทำอะไร
home
บางอย่าง
defense, and
แต่คุณ
sometimes
จำเป็นต้องมี
law
วินัยมากกว่า
enforcement
ค
or
นอื่น
military.
ในการทำบางสิ่ง เพราะความสำเร็จคือเกมยาว ไม่ใช่เกมสั้น
Pump action shotgun is a type of shotgun where the user must manually operate a sliding door and bullet the pump to inject a spent shell and chamber at the pump. Each shot requires the shooter to rack the pump before the next round can be fired. Double barrel shotgun is a type of shotgun has two parallel barrels, allowing it to fire two shots, one for each barrel before needing to be reloaded.
Gunshot residue. Gunshot residue, also known as firearm discharge residue, is a collection of microscopic particles that are expelled when a firearm is discharged. These residues come from the primer, propellant, gunpowder, and sometimes the bullet or cartridge case. It means gunshot residue is a mix of a tiny particles released when a gun is fired. It can stick to a person's hands, clothes, or nearby objects and is used in investigations to check if someone fired or was near a gun. The paraffin test is an old forensic method used to detect gunshot residue on a suspect's hands. It involves applying warm paraffin to the hands, then testing the hardened cast for nitrates, which may indicate gun firing. The oldest test is existence. It's designed to check for nitrates in hand, indicating gunpowder residue. The chemical used is diphenlamine. Wax turns blue if nitrates is present. Apply melted paraffin wax on hand. When it solidifies, remove and spray some diphenlamine. If it turns blue, means nitrates is present. Grease test. Peter Grease, 1858, designed the test to assist with the measurement of distance and angles. The examiner presses a photographic paper into the surfaces near the target, then sprays the paper with sodium rhodizonate. If the paper appears pink to violet color, then nitrate is present. Harrison-Gilroy test. It is the test does not check for nitrate at all, but for antimony, barium, and lead using the same paper color change indicator. Orange color indicates antimony. If the color changes to red by adding sodium chlordizonate, lead or barium is present by adding HCl, and if red turns to blue, lead is present. But if red color is retained, barium is present. Marshall and Tiwari test. It is used to detect nitrates similar to grease test, but in Marshall and Tiwari test are used to determine the firearm's distance Both tests are for nitrates. A filter paper was soaked in acetone and pressed on the target. If a deep yellow spot appeared, nitrates were present. Walker test. The Walker test is a forensic procedure used to determine the distance between a firearm and a target at the time gun was fired. It specifically identifies gunpowder residue on clothing or other materials surrounding a bullet hole.
Now we will discuss wound ballistics. Wound ballistics is the study of what happens inside the body when a projectile strikes and passes through tissue. Characteristic of ballistic wounds. Entrance wound, the initial point where a projectile enters the body. Typically smaller than the projectile's diameter due to the elastic properties of the skin. Exit wound is the wound created when a projectile, like a bullet, leaves the body after entering. Can be smaller or larger than the entrance wound, depending on the projectile's energy and path. Cavity formation in ballistic wounds is a critical concept in wound ballistics, explaining how tissues are disrupted by a projectile passing through the body. There are two types of cavity, temporary and permanent cavity. Temporary cavity is a larger expanding space created by the shock wave of the bullet's impact, which stretches and displaces surrounding tissue before striking, while permanent cavity refers to the actual tissue damage and space created by the bullet's direct path through the body. Next is burn marks, refers to the thermal damage on the skin or clothing caused by the hot gases or flames expelled from the muzzle of a firearm during discharge. Lastly is soot and stippling, deposit of soot and unburned gunpowder particles around the entrance wound. Now we were classifying gunshot wounds. First is contact wounds. It's a type of gunshot wound where the muzzle of firearm is pressed directly against the skin or the body when the gun is fired, causing extensive tissue damage and soot deposition. And also there's a muzzle imprint around the entrance of wound. Next is near contact wound. It occurs when the firearm is held very close to the skin but not touching it, resulting in soot deposition and stippling. Next is intermediate wounds. Occurs when a firearm is fired from a distance of about 6 to 24 inches from the skin. Muzzle is farther away from the skin, so there is a minimal soot and stippling. Lastly is distant wounds. Occurs when the firearm is fired from more than 24 inches away. No soot, no stippling, only a thin entrance hole, usually round or oval. Abrasion color may be present around the entry point.